Hello, my name is Antar. Before I begin, I would like to say I know it's pronounced Osmar, but for as long as I've known him, I've always called him Osmar, and it's just been a running joke between us, so that's what you'll hear. I've had the privilege of being Osmar's friend for the past 12 years, and during that time, he and his family have always been welcoming and supportive, taking me in and making me feel like one of their own. I cherish the holidays and the moments that we spend together now more than ever. I read this eulogy to you on behalf of myself, his family, and his friends, those who all loved and cherished him deeply. For as long as I've known him, Osmar had two dreams he was determined to achieve: to serve in the greatest army in the world, the United States Army, and to become a police officer so he could continue serving his community. He fulfilled that first dream with honor, duty, and loyalty. Then, with the same determination, he paid his way through the Sacramento Police Academy. He graduated and finally fulfilled his second dream of becoming a police officer by joining the Marysville Police Department. He lived his purpose. They say that some lives are like comets, brilliant, beautiful, and all too brief. Osmar was that kind of soul. To many of us, he was like a comet streaking through the night sky, impossible not to notice, lighting up everything with his presence. Osmar was our rock, our safe space, and our constant. The one we could turn to when we needed help, advice, or just someone to listen. He encouraged everyone around him to become a better version of themselves. He was humble, never judgmental. He sought to understand people, and he had a quiet way of comforting them. He also loved being the center of attention, not because he tried to be, just because it came naturally to him. Even from a young age, people gravitated towards him. If you ever called him the life of the party, he'd look you straight in the eye and say, "I am the party." And then he'd do something goofy that had everyone laughing. For him, making people happy was how he found happiness. Osmar was a devoted son who always strived to make his father proud, and he was a self-proclaimed mama's boy, inseparable from his mother whenever he was home. Even his firstborn son couldn't separate them. As soon as she walked in a room, he was by her side. He was a loving brother who shared a special bond with his sister Andrea, a bond that was beautiful to witness and only grew stronger over the years. That same bond was extended to his nephews and his niece and his brother-in-law, Ricardo, who he embraced like his own brother. Osmar was an amazing father. He adored his son, Lorenzo and Antonio, and always tried to be a role model for them. It wasn't unusual to find them cuddled up on the couch, watching movies, or falling asleep halfway through. He took them to the park, sat through endless kids shows, and never missed a chance to dance and sing with them, whether it be in the car, the living room, or at the backyard during family gatherings. He taught them how to ride bikes and motorcycles, and he always encouraged them to be just as wild and free. When you saw them together, you saw love. He was also a loving husband. He met his wife Monica in Texas while serving in the Army, and together they began building a family and a life together. On their first date, when they leaned in to hug, Osmar was shaking so much that she asked him if he was cold. He said, "No, I'm just really nervous." From that moment on, she saw a side of him many never get to see. That softer side, that more vulnerable side. And she loved him for it. Through the marriage, he continued to be exactly who he was, a whirlwind of energy, goofiness, love, and seriousness, all wrapped into one incredible man. To say he was the best friend a person could ever have would be an understatement. Words alone aren't enough to describe what he meant, but I'll try. It's rare to meet someone who sees both the light and the dark in you and still chooses to stay. Even rarer when that person becomes your best friend. But that was Osmar. Throughout our friendship, I found peace and I found myself. None of that would have been possible without him. Because to be his friend, it meant that you didn't have to be perfect. You didn't have to pretend to be someone you weren't, something that I did for a long time before meeting him. But you know, Osmar, he accepted you exactly as you were, and he always gently nudged you in the right direction, usually by saying something sarcastic, but it works. He was always down for a night out and exploring the city. But I think what I'll miss the most are the bailes and jaripeos that we went to together, laughing with our friend Omar in the car, talking about life, and making plans to travel and see what the world had to offer. As much fun as he had, he also appreciated the quieter moments. He used to say he'd rather be on a beach somewhere watching the people and sunsets with a drink in his hand, enjoying life with his friends than spending a wild night out. That too was Osmar. He knew how to embrace both joy and calm, and also adventure and presence. I'm reminded of a story between Osmar and our friend Omar, one that speaks volume to the kind of person that Osmar was. When they were just 17, Omar convinced Osmar to drive back to the party they just left, but they never made it back because they got into a car accident. Omar was terrified, thinking that Osmar would be angry or disappointed because he saved all his money that summer to buy that car. It was his first car. But true to who he was, Osmar didn't care about the car. He brushed it off and told Omar that the only thing that mattered was that they were both safe. That moment stuck with Omar because it showed just how caring and forgiving and grounded that Osmar was. It didn't matter what happened, what mattered were the people that he loved. Osmar, it was an honor to watch your life unfold and to see your dreams come true the way you always said that they would. It was an honor to know that you were always there for me in all the ways that mattered, standing by my side when I felt alone and believing in me, and for loving me through it all. Above all, it was an honor to call you my friend and my brother. In the end, Osmar would want us to pick up the pieces of our hearts, smile, and carry on. He would want us to continue this amazing party that we call life. And above all, he would want his love for his mother, Rosa, his father, Efren, his sister, Andrea, his wife, Monica, and his two beautiful boys, Lorenzo and Antonio, to be known. To him, they were his world. On behalf of Osmar's family, we want to thank the Marysville Police Department, the people who serve with him on the streets daily, his SWAT team, who is really proud to become a part of, the Yuba County Sheriff's Office, all the neighboring law enforcement and fire departments, the businesses and organizations who held fundraisers, and most of all you, the people. Through our grief, we saw the streets lined with families, freeways frozen in time, overpasses filled with supporters, and an outpouring of love online. Your support has not gone unnoticed, and we are forever grateful. Osmar, may you find peace and comfort in knowing that you were loved unconditionally. And may those who carry you in our hearts always feel your presence with them. Rest easy, my friend, and we'll see you again in a place without suffering that only knows light and love. We love you. Thank you.